Hey again, guys. Today is now Tuesday the 11th of whatever of March. I skipped a couple of days, but I'm still here, and I'm going to tell you about Ukraine and America as promised. But first, I'm going to keep grabbing up little bits and pieces.
Standing by for orders.
Standing by.
So basically, the war in Ukraine has been going on for a long time.
At your service.
It's even
Ready for
on
my
this map here, as you can see, he's fighting a little war. His is, of course, a complete fantasy, because that's how the game works. But the story is that the war is almost over. Ukraine is out of troops, completely out of, like, young men in Ukraine. It's kind of gross. They are running around the streets of Kiev, trying to, like, Shanghai people, like steal men from the streets and send them to die in the front line. I have a friend in Ukraine, in Kiev, and he's hiding out in his house. His mother has to do all the shopping and all the leaving the house, basically, so that guy's not happy. But what's happening in the news is that Donald Trump in America is starting to close out the Ukraine war, and the way he's doing it is by renouncing the government there, which is a man named Zelensky, and he's attacking Zelensky, and all the American liberals hate him for it because they like Zelensky. So that is what it is. And so yeah, that's been in the news a lot, is that he's stopped funding. So now Europe over here is wanting to fund the whole thing. This is what I'm doing here, is abandoning half the country, basically, South Yemen.
Our presence is growing.
So that's pretty good. I'm down in Africa. I'm building up to grab Nigeria the same way I did with Ethiopia, because if I manage to convert all their huge population to loyalism, that will give me a bunch of resources. So anyway, in America, Donald Trump has taken over America. He won the election a couple of months ago. And what he's done is, the richest man in the world is this guy named Elon Musk. And Elon Musk, he gave him the position of, like, he created a pretend ministry with no funding, but Elon's the richest man in the world, so he funds it himself. And then he sits in he has an office in the White House. And what he does is run around the American government firing government employees. He's defunded the entire USAID, which is America's aid thing. So Kenya's not getting any money anymore from America. And I talked to you a bit about that, about Egypt and Jordan, but it's also a big problem for everyone else. And he's also, I think it's by now it's like 5 or 10% of all the employees of the US government have been fired. So that is a big problem even for my family, who are all of that folk. And everyone's having a mad freak out about it. But now it looks like Elon is not going to survive very long. He's becoming mentally unstable. The administration is turning on him. I grabbed Niger because it will increase my chances of grabbing Nigeria.
We must persuade the people.
So that is fun for everyone.
Your orders?
That, and so America's having this big meltdown, and they've started to arrest people. It's not just government agents, it's also the whole American, it's kind of turning to fascism. And they're all very, very freaked out about that. It's not great for them. My one cousin is thinking of moving. I've mentioned also that this is... I don't have enough. I need to do this.
Bringing them on board.
But this is why my family is funding my business a bit, which I guess I'll tell you about next time, which will be the last of this little mini-series.
We'll be running this place in no time.
What's the order?
And then...
Taking control.
So yeah, that America's having a meltdown, and it's starting to look like fascism, but it's not the same as historical fascism because he has no popular support. His popular support is low and declining. He's not doing the things that Hitler used to do to make the people love him. He's just looting the government and harassing minorities. So it's like a clown show version of fascism going on in America. And the war in Europe is almost over. The war in Ukraine, probably in 6 months or something, it'll be completely gone. Probably Russia. And it's kind of like on the map that Russia claims one of these provinces, but the map is overstretching how much it actually will gain. In fact, it will only gain like half of this eastern province that you can see on this map. Mexico's fine. And in fact, Humanity First is nice for grabbing Mexico. That's cool. I've grabbed the whole Nigeria. Alright, I'll quit the... Yeah, okay. This. So now, the reason I grabbed Nigeria is that spending on unity here will increase the polarization, it'll increase the functionality of Nigeria, but also the huge population will start turning to my side. It will have a big impact on my ability to have a red income. But I can't be holding it, as you can see. So I'll just leave it like that now and hope for the best. So yeah, America's kind of melting down. Ukraine is about to end the war. Russia will get about half of this province, you can see, because the guy is fantasizing. But the other thing that's happening is Europe used to be fiercely loyal to America. Now they've proven themselves to be fiercely loyal to America's Democratic Party, and the Republican Party is their enemies. So they're 4 or 5 major nations have completely bowed to half of America. Oh wow, this is the explosion. The explosion is just happening, so I will absolutely not progress the timer anymore from here. But I'm glad I progressed it far enough to see this. They have not come in peace. So they're proving that the aliens don't want to be our friends. And the Academy is all about being friends with the aliens, so this ain't good for the Academy. Am I going to be allowed to save? I hope so. Yeah. Okay. So I won't save. I'll just zoop around the world. So all these Europeans are having a meltdown about it. I'm actually in Europe right now. I'm visiting my sister. But the hard right, who's just taken over America, they've been really hoping for England, France, or Germany to have an election to flip to their side before everyone realizes that Trump is doing a bad job. Now is when they're basically realizing Trump is doing a bad job. The economy is beginning to teeter. Things are not going very well for Trump. He's trying to impose tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China all at the same time, which is all of America's biggest trading partners, which America hasn't had tariffs on anyone in a long time, like bits and pieces, but he's trying to impose huge tariffs on everyone. And it's the stock market. He's been saying he's going to do it for a long time, but now he's actually doing it. The stock market didn't believe he was going to do it, so now they're realizing it's true, and the stocks are starting to shudder. Europe is ruled by this like ghost of Joe Biden, basically, and van der Leyen, in particular here in the EU capital. The head of that is Ursula von der Leyen. She's terrible. So Western Europe is starting to shudder under the weight of its loyalty to the neoliberal paradigm. Trump, as bad as he is, he's not the neoliberal paradigm. So he's my enemy, but his enemies are also very much my enemies. So it's nice to see that they might be kind of permanently humiliated in the European context in the next, let's say, couple of years. So that's a lot of fun. The Ukraine war ending will be basically just pretty good because it's been rough. A rough few years. So that's more or less the state of play. Now I will take one more episode here to tell you how my life is evolving. I've made some allusions to my family coming to help on account of Trump. So I'll talk to you about that next time.